they want to build something just to get money from somebody to do it. The next big thing that we kind of plan to release is if everybody is into just Polkadot, then, then it won't make sense. And each one kind of works only on their own stuff.
Hello and welcome to KryptosChain.
Okay.
My name is Claudio, and joining me today is Alex Mitrovich from Unique Network. I know I'm in a bit of an odd location here in the countryside, so it might get a little bit choppy from time to time, but I will try my best to make this interview work out for you so you can listen okay and you can hear everything that we're talking about. Well, Alex is the CEO and co-founder of Unique Network. We've never had him on this channel before, so Alex, thank you very much for taking the time to come on. Before we begin, if you could please just give us a bit of background about yourself. How did you get started with crypto?
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Or get a glimpse of that nice countryside. I'm in a concrete jungle of New York these days, so I envy the greenery there. I've been in crypto ever since like 2016, I guess, when kind of started looking into it, and we created a blockchain lab at the software development company I was kind of I was partner in. And still am. Crypto was kind of, Ethereum was starting out. I was at the time looking into all the new technologies that were coming out, data science, AI, and blockchain. AI, I realized I will not get that much, but blockchain was a perfect fit. I understood it right from the beginning and kind of starting diving into it and stayed with it ever since.
So how did you start Unique Network? What drove you to start Unique Network to begin with?
We did at that use that blockchain lab. We did blockchain work for different blockchains. Of course, Ethereum was the most, but we did some work in other blockchains at the time as well. And sometimes in late 2018, early 2019, actually in February, I remember it was a Berlin film festival. I kind of bumped into Polkadot. It was very early days. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It took a lot of promise to me from the technical and organizational perspective. So we started working on it, got the first grant to work on some SDK early in one of their first batches. And then we did a lot more work that year. And the last thing we kind of looked into was NFTs. Nobody was doing NFTs in Polkadot at the time. And we started digging into it. We did in 2019 another project that was designed to kind of create market pricing for NFTs based on AI. And it got this kind of interested. I realized that actually NFTs are something that will be as core of a technology as fungible tokens, because they represent non-fungible assets in the real world. And that is about the same market size as fungible assets are in the real world. So for me, it looked like NFTs are going to be the place that is going to grow in crypto space much faster than the rest of the crypto industry. So we kind of looked at different chains again for NFTs. We looked at Cosmos with EVM stuff. And we realized that in Polkadot, you can do much better, much more, much kind of next generation stuff, because Polkadot is next generation blockchain technology. And we did the first NFT palette in February 2020, and we realized, Christ, this is awesome. This is unbelievable. This is something that nobody else can do. We kind of started focusing on it, and with the release of the testnet in August 2020, when it was in the scope of hackathon, the first one that they did in the Polkadot ecosystem, it was like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is something amazing. This is something completely innovative that's going to change the world, that's going to bring in millions of people to NFTs, and basically that's the way it started off.
Now let's talk about the canary network Quartz as well. You launched Quartz first and Unique Network later. So Quartz is the canary network of Unique on Kusama. Can you please tell us what are your plans for Quartz going forward? Will you continue keeping the parachain alive, or is there a plan to eventually decommission it and focus all of your attention on Unique Network?
Well, the code is the same. The purpose of Quartz is to take the first try, because this is blockchain. it has to be irreversible, it has to be kind of immutable, it has to work all the time. In software, that's very difficult. So it's very difficult not to have bugs from the first go. So Canary network there, Kusama is there for Polkadot to try out things and discover bugs in production, so that it doesn't touch the main thing. And that is the purpose of Quartz as well, so that if we run into any problems, that they are on in a Canary environment. For now, we don't have much extra expense in doing it besides the kind of, just maintenance of the network. So I don't see a reason why would we decommission it, but it's up to the market what market needs. So if the setup where projects will need the Canary environment to try things out and make sure things work, and to experiment in the technology with a much cheaper network, then it makes sense. If everybody is into just Polkadot, then it won't make sense. But again, the cost of maintaining Quartz for us is not big, so it's going to be a playground for us to test things out, to test scalability, for example. Okay, we have some serious plans in that for next year mostly. We want to experiment with like gazillion NFTs and stuff like that, and the Quartz is a perfect environment for that.
So let's talk about your plans for Unique Network, and in terms of collaborations with other teams within the ecosystem. Like Remark is most probably the only one that's the most similar to Unique Network in some ways, right? You both have a marketplace, you both offer different types of NFTs on there. I would argue that with Remark, you can do other things as well, like you can have nestable NFTs, multi-asset NFTs, and all that sort of stuff.
So Polkadot ecosystem is extremely rich and complex. So we have between Kusama and Polkadot, we have probably between 6 and 10 different NFT standards and kind of NFT implementations. That makes things kind of confusing for outsiders. Then a few parachains have their own palettes, and then we have EVM implementations, then we have ink implementations. So there's a lot of mess. Okay, there's a lot of complexity. What we're trying to do is trying to kind of put things in motion that will simplify that, so that when people from outside ecosystem try to come in, they understand the picture, okay, and that they have the tech stack that works together. So for us, the key to what we are trying to do kind of next is to streamline things, to work with Parity for kind of to have common approaches to we've been doing this for ever since their beginning, for over a year now, to kind of make sure that the NFTs palette and our palette are compatible. And then the next big thing that we kind of plan to release is actually NFT XCM, okay, which allows movement of NFTs between parachains. That's something we've been working on since kind of beginning of this year, and we'll continue to do so, hopefully for months and years to come, because we established ourselves as a leader in that area. Parity is kind of has given us the free reign there mostly, and we are planning to work with other parachains very soon to kind of start putting it into production, hopefully, at least the first kind of proof of concept versions, and then kind of jointly tooling needed for that, because interoperability is something that we have to have in Polkadot ecosystem and with others as well, and we don't have that. Okay, so that's priority number one. In terms of our kind of strategy and stuff, so Remark is actually very different. I don't follow them that much, especially these days. We collaborated a lot in the past, and we did a lot of things for them, but they have kind of went their own way. And last I know, they're kind of building out just the stuff on EVM. So basically, that kind of work is going to be probably via EVM kind of compatibility and stuff like that. Probably even more important than work on NFT NFT kind of ecosystem in Polkadot will be the overall kind of capabilities, collaborations, because Polkadot is very, I like to call it balkanized, so split up in kind of many parachains and many projects, and each one kind of works only on their own stuff. And at the same time, the actual power of Polkadot is when you start combining those things into powerful end user applications. So we are very much looking forward to work like with Kilt on kind of combining the identity with NFTs, with sub-social, with creating kind of social networking kind of capabilities and NFTs, with DeFi chains like Akala and many others actually on collabs there. We have a lot of work to do with Moonbeam and the kind of to combine what they're doing with bringing all the EVM projects into the substrate environment, because what we have is kind of the compatibility of EVM addresses and substrate addresses, and that's especially kind of important for multi-chain implementations and so on. So I put a lot of emphasis on collaborating with parachain teams in the next few years, because that will create powerful solutions that will kind of make Polkadot really stand out there and be kind of really attractive globally and get its mission accomplished.
Absolutely, I totally agree, and that's really great to hear. And it's all about collaboration. At the end of the day, it's all about interoperability within the ecosystem first, and then likely looking outside the ecosystem. So now I want to ask you about some of the challenges that you may have faced with Unique Network throughout the way when you started development and trying to gain users.
Okay, so on the technical side of things, Polkadot and Substrate are developing a lot the last few years, and there were a lot of changes, and that was very challenging to keep up with and to kind of stay ahead of the curve without kind of major problems or kind of bugs and so on. So that was done. It was done well. And we are kind of in a phase where actually the further kind of technical work will be much calmer waters and much more stable environments and more predictable. So technology, I don't think, is any longer a problem. The main things remaining for us, at least, is to work jointly on performance, on interoperability, those things that come in kind of as always at the end. On the organizational side, and again, on technical side, we had a very big technical team. At the peak, it was 75 people.
Wow.
So we did quite a lot of work on core stuff that we have. We built a lot, and then we optimized it a lot. And then we did a lot of tooling that goes around the SDK, the wallet integrations, all the different things that come into play for end users to adopt stuff. Now, in terms of organizational and kind of adoption side, this bear market is horrible to everybody. These days, projects that kind of they want to build something just to get money from somebody to do it. That's the prevailing. That's prevailing kind of 80%, 90% of kind of leads we get are those kinds of leads. Incredible amount of innovation out there happening. So our vision of NFTs 2.0 is happening regardless of everything. A lot of different interesting projects happening in NFT space that have nothing to do with collectibles, that are completely new use cases, and that's where we are seeing actual traction, actual building, and actual kind of potential.
Because we were talking about the bear market, obviously, and we all know how tough it's been. It's been quite a long time now. We're looking at 2 continuous years, right, of bear market. How are you financially sustaining Unique Network given the current situation at the moment?
Well, the thing is, as I said, I've been in crypto since 2016. I've seen myself how brutal can the bear market be. Okay, 2018 and 19 were brutal. Okay, we survived only because we found Polkadot that was Web3 fund that had Web3 foundation and had the kind of a beautiful option of actually giving small grants to teams actually building stuff. So when we raised money for Unique, we weren't like we did not behave with the treasury in a way that like, okay, it's going to be like this forever. We have invested the money in actual building of getting us ready, getting the Polkadot parachain ready for adoption is not a small feat. Okay, it's not just the question of building out the parachain. You have to build out all the things around it that are not built. Okay, and there's so much tooling just so that you kind of put things in perspective. Last year we made about I remember exactly the figure. I think it was 5,600 commits in GitHub. I think it was like that, or 6,000 something. I forgot the exact numbers. It's in our annual review. But out of that, we had 1,200 GitHub commits in the core stuff, on the blockchain stuff, and all the rest was all the tooling. Okay, so that actual tooling, the SDK, tool for this, for minting, for kind of wallets, for marketplaces, for everything else, you needed 5 times more development than you needed for core. Okay, but what we have done is we have actually matured technically, so that today, if somebody wants to build on Unique, it's very fast and easy. Okay, they don't need to build. We've built so many things that projects actually need that when projects come on board, and we start talking about implementations and architecture and kind of project plans, the actual project plan, that turns out, is only 30% of what they envisioned from the beginning, because we have everything ready, and it's much faster, and it's much kind of easier, and so on. So we are ready in that respect. So now, and again, we didn't spend the money. We didn't spend all the money. We planned out. I know that crypto has 4-year cycles, or about, okay, plus minus. So we planned our finances so that we can survive the bear market. For me, the main thing was kind of, in the middle of the bull market, all we were thinking about is, okay, we need to kind of make sure we can survive the next bear market. Okay, so now we are in a good position. We are actually not doing much marketing. My CMO will kind of say we're doing very little. Okay, in contrast to what you're saying, we're doing a lot, but probably relatively to others, we are doing a lot more, because we did kind of preserve some enough funding to look good in this environment. Okay, yeah. But it's still kind of small spend, if you ask me, and and we're doing a lot of things jointly with the whole Polkadot ecosystem. So that's actually one area where Parity, Web3 Foundation, and the whole Polkadot ecosystem has gotten together, and we actually have very optimized marketing costs.
It's good to hear that Unique is doing well and has thought about the plan for this bear market to self-sustain, because it is very important, as we all know. We don't want to be in a situation where we're going to the Polkadot Treasury, requesting a lot of funds, like we've seen some cases, unfortunately, because it is happening. It is affecting teams at the moment. So now I want to ask you about one of the most exciting things that's coming up with Unique that you are able to share with us.
I think that actually exciting things should be kind of, should be more and more and more exciting as we go. So whatever most exciting thing I can say about today, 3 months, 6 months time frame, there will be something even more exciting. One thing that I would like users to pay attention to is, I like to announce and talk about things that are actually done. Okay, I can tell you about million things we have in a pipeline for next month or next year or next decade. Okay, the things we dream about or that we are working on, but as history has taught us, it all doesn't matter until it's done. Okay, so I like to talk about things that are done. We started releasing and working on end user kind of packages for complex NFT structures. that we promote as NFT 2.0. So one of them, for example, is composable NFTs. Game was just launched to demonstrate that. Some of our kind of ecosystem developers have made some very cool tools for that, so that people can actually play with them. I don't know if that customizable NFT tool, it hasn't been released yet. We're going to kind of integrate. That those developers are going to integrate them with some other Polkadot ecosystem wallets, so people can actually play and make composable NFTs any way they like, and without any developers, without kind of anything. You can do it, anybody can do it, and that, I think that will be very, very cool, something to pay attention to, because those kinds of more complex NFT structures and implementations, they are the next generation of NFT use cases. They're basis for it. So that's something to play with, whether it's, again, customizable, nested NFTs, dynamic NFTs. All those things are kind of things that we are working on very hard. And we think that that will be the basis for the next NFT boom when it comes.
Now, I do have one final question for you, and that is not related to Unique Network. What is one thing in life that you truly desire?
Okay, one thing in life that I truly desire. Well,
that always gets everyone.
yeah, there's always a lot. Well, I'm 52 years old, so what I would really desire is that I spend the next, 10, 15 years that I have remaining in the working life, in working on really innovative stuff that's going to change the planet in a really good way. Okay. The blockchain technology is here to stay. We are very distracted by its monetary value, but actual technology can do wonders. I spent a few days last month in Sarajevo, for example, in Bosnia, on War Memory Festival, which is something organized by War Memory Foundation. These are top journalists in the world that organized it, that put it together. And I was doing a lecture there on how actually NFTs and blockchain can help with returning trust to journalism and things like that. It doesn't have anything to do with money. How do you actually get less trust and more truth in society in the way we handle things? I think that NFTs are major technological breakthrough that will kind of bring in benefits like that to society over the next 10, 20 years. And I really hope that I partake in that I kind of contribute to that, and that we get to adoption levels that are really innovative and change the things on the planet, on this planet. So let's take on that one.
Very nice, very nicely said. Thank you very much, Alex, for taking your time to share everything about Unique Network and answering all these questions. I really appreciate it. And by the way, if you want to follow Unique Network, in case you aren't already, I really recommend you follow them on Twitter. I am going to be posting links in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment, because that's where you get the latest updates. Also, if you join their Discord as well, you can get updates there. So thank you very much, Alex, once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.